everyone, welcome back to my channel. Thank you guys so much for joining me here today for a brand new pick a card reading. For anyone that's new to the channel, hello and welcome in. My name is Melissa, and today's reading is going to be on the topic of the next 7 days. So we're just going to be taking a look to see what energies, events, situations of significance may present themselves to you over the course of the next 7 days. So let's get into some disclaimers around this reading. First and foremost, this is a timeless reading. So whenever you feel guided to view this video, there is likely a message that is here for you. So whether you are viewing the video the day that I upload it, or you stumble across it 6 months from the day that it was uploaded, even if you happen to watch it on like a Wednesday and it's not a Sunday, anytime that you feel drawn to it, go ahead and click on the video because there's likely something that's meant to be shared with you here. Also, keep in mind, guys, this is a general reading. So some messages will resonate specifically to your situation while other messages may not. As I always say, if it doesn't apply, let it fly. If something really is not fitting your situation, please don't feel frustrated or, try to force it to fit. Just let it go and respect that it was likely a message that was meant for someone else. All right, so let's go ahead and get into our pile selection for today's reading. We're going to be working with 3 piles. Starting here on the left, we have pile number 1, and we are working with a spirit quartz. Pile number 2, we have this really beautiful little turquoise heart. And then for pile number 3, we have a rose quartz. So let's go ahead and take a deep breath. Think about the next 7 days. Go ahead and select the card or crystal that you're feeling the most intuitively connected to. And once you've made your choice, you can scroll down to the description box below where you will locate the timestamp that will take you to your chosen pile. See you there. Hey, pile number 1, if you guys picked out the spirit quartz, this will be your week ahead forecast. So we're going to look to see again what's happening for you guys in the next 7 days. We're looking at general energies. I am also going to be looking into love and career in this reading, but they're going to be more so kind of light overviews depending on what comes through. So we are going to go ahead and get started here with your oracle cards. And everything was pre-shuffled today, so we'll kind of roll through this. At the end of your reading, I am going to use this Lenormand deck just to see what other info we can get. So the themes for your week ahead, pile 1, we have the Spirit of Place. This is a beautiful card. And we also have Mars, motion. Wow. That's powerful. So one thing that's kind of catching my eye right off the bat here with this card is these fall leaves that are here. And so this is making me feel like some of you all are moving through some sort of a change or transition this week, or the next 7 days. The butterfly here as well, this talks of transformation, right? And sometimes through change, sometimes through transformation, things can feel challenging, things can feel painful even. I'm not saying it's going to be a painful week for you, but just giving some examples here. So there's an energy here of, I feel like kind of learning how to transition into this new beginning for yourself, learning how to relax into the change versus maybe aggress the change, if you will. But this card as well with the Spirit of Place, this also talks about authenticity. So I definitely feel that this, whatever changes you guys may be going through this week, this is also a week where you are being challenged to show up as your true, most authentic self. And this could also be why we have Mars coming up here, because Mars is all about going after your passions, right? It is energized, it is action-oriented. It can even be angry at times, but it's very passionate, right? It's a very passionate energy that's all about aggression and movement forward. So I definitely think that there's something here this week that you all are feeling really passionate about, feeling very passionately about. And there's this energy of wanting to push forward and make movement with regard to this situation here. So let's continue. I want to just see kind of how this reading plays out, and we'll see what other messages come through. So let's move into your tarot cards next. So we have the 10 of challenges and we have the ace of spells. Yeah. See, so there's definitely this energy that I'm seeing here of, with the 10 of challenges, this is the 10 of swords. So there's this energy of sort of like hitting a rock bottom the next 7 days, but then rising from the ashes here with the ace of spells, right? There's that Mars energy coming through, going after your passions. You guys can notice here, this is also like a very wintry kind of scene, right? Which is sort of like, you have the fall season here, we have winter season here. So it's like, I feel for a lot of you guys that picked pile number 1, the next 7 days are sort of about like an old chapter or an old cycle winding down in your life, and then sort of re-emerging fresh and new with this really passionate, sort of spontaneous energy coming through. So, 10 of spells, 10 of challenges, 10 of swords, this is essentially like when we've kind of hit a place of like mental fatigue and exhaustion. Something has definitely run its course. Something has definitely come to an end here. This could have been a situation that was very stressful for a lot of you. If not, maybe this was just a situation where you guys were really, really overthinking things here. But the beauty here is with this white horse, for me, horses represent freedom. And so I definitely feel this plays in really amazingly with the Mars energy and the Ace of Wands here, right? It's like the 10 of Swords ultimately it can be a card that's like, ugh, we don't always want to see this in a reading, but the beauty of this card is that you can only go up from here, right? It can't get any worse than what it is right here, right now. And for me, this white horse is representing independence and freedom. You guys really freeing yourself from this situation here. And I also feel that you guys are supported this week as well. So even if you feel like you're going through this alone, I do feel that there is someone or some group of people or someone out there who would be willing to lend that support or helping hand if you needed it. But with this Ace of Spells here, this is about breathing that passion back into your life again with Mars, right? So there's an energy here of feeling excited, feeling ignited, going after your passions. Maybe this kind of slowing down or this energy of hitting bottom is kind of sparking you to take action. It's igniting you to take action again. So I definitely see that there's an energy of revival and energizing of your energy coming through this week as well. Let's continue for pile 1. So we have denial, failure to accept a situation, unhealthy cycles or addictions. Yeah. See, that's exactly what's going on here. It's like there's this energy of closing out an unhealthy cycle in your life. And the cool thing too with this spirit of place, again, this is talking about authenticity. So I do see that there is this realization this week that whatever the cycle is, whatever the situation is for you, you're recognizing and realizing that it's not the right fit. You don't feel like your authentic true self. Like whatever this is depleting you of your energy. It's incapacitating you in some way. We also have lovers, a passionate connection, shared vision, and values. Well, this is beautiful. So for some of you, this energy we're talking about here that I'm channeling could be about a relationship. We'll see here in a minute with your love card. So this could be about a passionate relationship for some of you guys, or just a connection in general. I'm also feeling like some of you all might be going through this situation separately, and then maybe there's another side of your life with relationships that is helping to revive you in a sense, or maybe even distract you from it in a way. Not in a bad way, but I'm definitely seeing that for some of you. The other thing though with lovers, it doesn't necessarily always have to mean another person, another love interest, right? This can just be talking about like how this says shared vision and values. Going back again to that authenticity message, right? It's like whatever situation this is referring to, there is this realization here around it's not authentic for me, and wanting to create a situation for yourself where it is authentic for you, where you do feel that you can be your full self, where things feel like they are in alignment for you. So let's take a look at love and career for this week. So starting off with love, you guys do have the card of family, which is beautiful. So there could be, for some of you all, an emphasis on your family. So like your parents, your children, extended family, things like that. I am seeing a little baby here. So there could be a baby for some of you that's popping up this week. That could be significant. Let's see. Why don't we do, hold on, let's do this. I'm feeling creative all of a sudden. Let's pull a tarot card for love as well to clarify this family, and then we'll look at career and do the same. So clarifying this family energy for pile 1 for love this week. The 3 of Spells. So there's planning. There could be travel with this as well, because the 3 of Wands is also all about travel. But yeah, there's sort of like this energy with like forward movement and planning ahead with the 3 of Wands. This is sort of about thinking about the future too. You know what I mean? So sort of having that plan, mapping out the week, maybe even more long-term plans for some of you guys out there, and kind of illuminating the way forward for yourself with regard to this family energy. And again, this could also be travel. So like maybe some of you guys are traveling to family this week, or there's an element of maybe long distance with family or missing your family, which could be a thing as well for some. So let's take a look at your career this week. And we do have the Empress. This is beautiful energy. This is talking about fertile investments, feminine authority, prosperity, and abundance. So the cool thing is, you guys, is like, whatever this personal situation is that's going on in your life, like it feels like you have good things going for you in love and career, you know? So in your career this month, it's like there is this energy of like nurturing the things that you feel creatively connected to. What's interesting too is like you guys have the Empress, which is like the mother card in career, but then you also have family here on love life. So I'm wondering if there is motherhood kind of intertwined into some of your lives this week with career and love and just general. But yeah, so like the Empress card for me in a career, this is sort of when we are nurturing our passions, like nurturing the things that we have created or given birth to metaphorically. So this could be tying in a little bit with the Mars energy and the Ace of Spells too, you guys, like, because Ace of Spells is creativity. It is passion, right? It is excitement. So there's an energy of sort of nurturing this creativity within your work this week. For those of you that are like managers or leaders, this is definitely a week where you are guided to take more of a softer hand, right? Feminine authority. So this is not about like letting people steamroll you, but you know, especially when things feel kind of crazy with Mars, or like maybe there's some agitation in a situation, it can be good to go in with still that authoritative or that leadership quality, but to take a softer, more compassionate hand to the situation, because this may help to diffuse any tensions that are coming around. But this looks beautiful. We'll get one more clarifying card for career, and then we will close it out with some Lenormands for you. Clarifying the Empress for career for pile number 1. Yeah, look at this, the 2 of Visions, the 2 of Cups. So this is all about like the people that you work with, whether you manage people, you have a business partnership, or just relationships in general, right? Like this is all about kind of coming together with them, meeting them where they are, trying to seek harmony and balance in these connections. And again, taking more of that compassionate approach to leadership versus going in with that really swift and, authoritative hand, because this will help better diffuse any troubles that are happening in your career. So pile 1, we're going to close it out and pull some of these Lenormands. I'm still learning these, but a couple of my friends here on YouTube have been using them in their readings, and it's kind of inspired me to like break out this deck and learn it. I've actually had this deck for quite a while. If you guys like it, this is by my friend Julius over at Julius Tarot. He created this deck. It's called the Rainbow Reflections Lenormand. I'll have the name of it listed below. But this is just going to help to see any other, information that we want to know, physical information about the week ahead. So next 7 days for pile 1, what else do they need to know with regard to this energy presented to us here? So bees, yep, there's that teamwork energy. Like the bees are all about like networking, doing hard work, getting things done. Yeah, this is talking about worker, obedience, and teamwork. So yeah, working as a part of a team is definitely coming up as being important this week. Let's see. Let's get a couple more. We also have the letter. So there could be some sort of news or communication that you guys are receiving this week with the letter. Let me see. This talks about news, correspondence, or an announcement. So those are all kind of what this is talking about. Let's see. Let's get one more. We also have the mountain. So I think the mountain talks about challenge, which makes sense because that's kind of what we've been seeing here. So looking at the mountain, yeah, obstruction, obstacles, and delays. That makes a lot of sense, you guys, with this like 10 of challenges energy. But I definitely feel like whatever, maybe the communication that's coming in is something that is perceived to you as an obstacle or a challenge. Maybe this is where this rock bottom energy is coming from, but it feels like ultimately the way you get out of this is through teamwork, which again, going back to that Lovers card, right? Shared values, shared vision, being able to connect with like-minded individuals to help support removing the obstacle or overcoming the obstacle is going to be important this week. So pile 1, I am going to go ahead and close the reading out here, but I would love to hear from you in the comments what is happening for you this upcoming 7 days, how you feel these messages resonate with your specific situation. So please drop me a note down below and let me know. If you are not already, please do subscribe to the channel and hit the bell. That's where you guys know when I'm uploading new videos. And I do look forward to catching you in a new reading really soon. Bye. Hey, pile number 2, if you guys picked out the little turquoise heart, this will be your week ahead, your 7 days ahead reading. So as I mentioned in the intro, this is just going to get into some general energies to expect over the next 7 days. And I'm also going to be pulling some information about both love and career for your reading as well. So let's go ahead and get started with the overall energy this week. For you guys, we start off with coming apart. And then we have Sagittarius. Okay. So when we see coming apart here, this card is really talking about separation. So that's going to mean different things to different people. But essentially, the essence of this card is really talking about removing yourself from situations that no longer serve you, removing yourself from situations that are no longer in alignment with you. This can be removing yourself from just a situation. It could be separating from a person. It could be anything in your life that is no longer serving you, that is not in alignment with your highest good. There is an energy of this coming apart this week, separating yourself from that. With Sagittarius energy coming through, this is beautiful because Sagittarius energy is, like the card says, it's all about expansion. It's all about exploration. So I do think that through this coming apart, it's providing you an opportunity to kind of broaden your horizons and continue to explore and understand what options are really out there for you and what options may be better served to you. I also kind of feel with Sagittarius here, there could be an energy of trying to understand the more philosophical reasons why something like this happened, right? Again, it's like widening the lens, zooming out a little bit, looking at everything from a much higher perspective and trying to see what was the lesson in this and how can you course correct and create or move toward the best path for you going forward that truly is in alignment. Some of you guys too with Sagittarius, just like aside from this, Sag is also about like travel and exploration. So there could be some travel on the horizon for some of you guys this week. Yes. So, okay, let's just continue. Sag is also fire energy. So there could be, I just feel there's a lot of passion around expansion for you guys. So let's look at the tarot. So we have a 9 of challenges, which is the 9 of swords. And we also have the oldest one, which is the Hierophant. I love this card. Okay. Yes. So I definitely see that there is a little bit of anxiety around this expansion energy, you guys, because maybe you have been very comfortable with a certain with like a certain way of doing things. With the Hierophant card, this sort of talks about like traditions. It talks about sort of traditions, the status quo. It talks a little bit about your values, and sometimes for me it also talks about like societal values, like, you know, like the Muggle way of doing things. So what I mean by this is like, you know, there are certain ways in certain societies where certain things are just done, and these are like the norms, you know? So maybe there's a little bit of fear or uncertainty around coming out of your shell here and exploring these new possibilities. You know, there's a little bit of overthinking things and maybe a little bit of just fear of the unknown and ruminating a little bit over, you know, this kind of like removal of what no longer serves you and then pushing yourself to get out there again. You know what I mean? But I also feel like, you know, a part of this is really important to your own personal development because, you know, with the oldest one with the Hierophant card being about values, I think that there's a need for some of you guys to maybe through this coming apart, you're also being challenged to learn what your personal values really are. You know, maybe you have worked at a specific job for a long time, or maybe you have worked or been in like a romantic relationship and, you know, you're leaving those things behind that you've been attached to for a really long time, right? And so now you're kind of out here on your own, expanding and exploring and being challenged to almost come up with your own way of doing things or understand what your own personal values are. But I also think that you guys will gain a lot of wisdom through this energy this week because the Hierophant card, you know, this is sort of like that spiritual guidance that you can get. Maybe some of you guys are getting help this week as well with the oldest one. There could be someone here in your life that's supporting you, a subject matter expert, a mentor, spiritual guidance. But there's something here with this little owl about like wise guidance, either happening through your exploration or coming to you through a guide. So let's keep going. Realignment, shift your perspective for a gained sense of clarity. Yes. So it's like through this coming apart, you're, again, realigning yourself with what is best for you. And there is a need here, I think, to shift perspective so that you can be more optimistic about this because expansion can be very exciting. You know, there can be a lot of things to learn through this experience about yourself, about the situation. But I definitely see that there's a lot of fear and overthinking things. And so shifting your perspective to a more optimistic, like to me, this is sort of an energy of like thinking the worst or assuming the worst is going to happen here. So if you guys have been having a lot of negative thoughts about this, I think it could be really good to maybe start doing like, you know, affirmations in the morning. It's like, instead of being scared about this like potential new beginning, maybe you start writing down in your journal every morning, like, I welcome new beginnings. I am excited for a new beginning. I'm excited to explore new possibilities. You know, just kind of helping to program your mind and shift yourself into a more optimistic space so that you can really be open to receiving the blessings that would like to come in for you. Because right now you guys are kind of hiding. You're a little closed off. We also have decisions, the need to gain clarity through decision making. See, both of these cards are talking about clarity. You know, so there is a lot of clarity coming in for you this week, but there's a need here to kind of detach yourself from this situation in order for you to gain that clarity. And I think once you guys make the decision to split apart from whatever this is and kind of emotionally detach from it, it will be a lot easier for you to see things clearly. So let's move into love and career next. So we're going to start off to see what's happening for you guys in love. And we do have the energy of regret coming through. So I do wonder if there is part of this story that I'm telling here. I'm wondering if this is having to do with a partner or your love life. We're going to get a clarifying tarot card here for this. So clarifying the regret card for love this week for pile number 2. The next 7 days in love. We have the 9 of Spells. Oh, wow. Yes. I definitely feel like this week you guys are, with both of these number 9s, you guys are sort of on this precipice of closing out a pretty major chapter. It might be in love. I don't know, but yes. I'm also feeling there's like a lot of isolation and like independence here with both the 9 of Swords and the 9 of Spells, or like a need to be more independent is coming through. But yeah, there's definitely something in your love life this week, you know, that maybe you're feeling regretful, remorseful, sad over. Maybe you're overthinking this a little bit. And there's an energy here of really having your guard up. You see like this woman, she's putting like a protection spell around her so that nothing can harm her. So there's a lot of fear that I see you guys having around something in love, or a little bit of a lack of trust in someone or something. This week, there's definitely this energy of like a force field being around you, like no one's getting in there. So it still looks like we're working through some challenges from the past as it pertains to love. Looking at career for this week, we have the 8 of Wands. This is talking about good news, business travel, and speedy communication. So it seems like things are going pretty well for you guys in career this week. You guys, could be, again, traveling with Sagittarius energy coming up, or as the card mentions, receiving some good news. But, 8 of Wands is usually a good indicator that, like, there is excitement within your career life. It kind of, to me, the way I'm reading this, it almost feels like a lot of this stuff that you're working through feels like it's more related to your love life and relationships, whereas like career seems like it's just off to like a nice, great start this week. We'll get one more card though for clarity just to see. I'm also noticing how this money is chasing this person. So I feel like you guys could be receiving a lot of abundance this week, just like without even trying. Maybe you guys get some extra money or something tossed your way, which would be really nice. But definitely movement in career. Definitely travel for a lot of you guys. Let's get one more card though. Okay. We also have suspension, which is the Hanged Man. So there's also an energy with career this week of, though things are moving, we have an energy of seeing things from, a higher perspective, seeing things from a different perspective, which also ties in with Sagittarius, guys. Remember, this is all about zooming the lens out and looking at things from that wider, broader viewpoint and perspective versus being super caught up in the weeds of things and the details. So there could be an energy here of even like taking a pause with something in career this week. And before we're taking off, we are able to take a minute to sort of mull the situation over with Sagittarius and wait until we get that enlightenment, that perspective that we're looking for before we go forward with the change. You guys have a lot of change, I feel like, happening this week, because we also have this little dragonfly here that I'm noticing, which also is symbolic of changes. So maybe you guys receive some sort of news this week about your career, or have an aha moment about your career this week, like some sort of energy coming at you with career that's allowing you to kind of see things from a different perspective. So let's go ahead and close out with these Lenormand cards. I am still learning these, you guys. So I have my little like cheat sheet here off to the side. A couple of my friends here on YouTube have been using these, so I wanted to I was inspired to also hop on this bandwagon and learn them. So we're just gonna take a look to see what other insights or information we need to know about your week this week for pile number 2. Just kind of see how everything ties in for pile 2. Ooh. So we have the Anchor, the Fox, the Bees. That came up with the last group too, the Bees. So starting off with the Anchor. So this is anchored, lifelong, willpower, and persistence. Yes, kind of reminding me here of the Hanged Man energy a little bit too when we're talking about being anchored to something. So I definitely do feel, again, there is an element of like needing to sort of pause and see something from, again, this higher perspective, a greater perspective. And, there's persistence here with the Anchor too, right? Willpower that's coming up here, which I think ties in really well with this 9 of Swords, right? Kind of taking a moment to like try to see it from a different perspective and boost up your confidence a little bit. So the Fox talks about trap, warning, and trickery. This could be your fears coming through though, you guys, because I'm really not seeing a lot of that in the other cards that we got. But the Fox also for me kind of talks about strategy, if you think about a fox, like they're kind of sneaky. They only come out at night for the most part. At least that's my experiences with them. So it's sort of like kind of flying under the radar and being strategic about your actions. And so there could be an element this week of you guys maybe being guided to sort of like go within more. You do have a lot of, energy of going within and kind of keeping to yourself to try to like unlock the answer to the problem that you're having, or to try to, again, see things from this different perspective. But I also think that you have people around you here with the bees that can help you out, because the bees talk about working as a team with others, so I think that there could be something you guys are missing here. You have a lot of walls up this week. And I think that if you were to connect with like-minded individuals or people in your circle that can help you, I think it may help to alleviate a lot of the anxiety that you're feeling about this change in perspective that's coming through for you. So pile 2, this looks like a really interesting 7 days ahead. I would love to hear from you in the comments how you feel it resonates with your life and your situation. So please drop me a note down below and let me know. If you're not already, please do subscribe to the channel and hit the bell. This way you all are aware of when I upload new videos. And I'm really excited to see you in a new reading very soon. Bye. Hey there, pile number 3. If you guys picked out the rose quartz, this will be your reading for the next 7 days. So we are going to kick things off here with looking in general energies. I'm going to start with a couple of oracle cards, and then we will also be diving into love and career separately toward the ending of this reading. So let's go ahead and get right into it. So starting things off with your 2 oracle cards, this is kind of like the overall energies for the week. We have the energy of stuck in the mud, and then we have solar flares. Okay, wow. So with the solar flares coming up right away, there's an energy here of things feeling really active this week. It's kind of like we have juxtaposing energies here, because one of these cards is talking about being stuck and taking a pause, whereas the other one is kind of talking about a lot of chaos and activity going on. So I want to say, like, right off the bat, I'm getting kind of like 2 separate messages here for you guys. First message being that, like, for any of you coming to pile 3 and you feel like you've been having a lot of drama or chaos in your life lately, I feel like the message for you this week is sort of about intentionally taking a pause, intentionally sort of removing yourself from the chaotic energy, or at least trying to understand from like a deeper level where the chaos in your life is coming from, where all of this active energy is coming from in your life, okay? Now, flipping it the other way around, I feel like others of you might be going into this week feeling stuck in your life, and there's a need to actually activate yourself, to go after what you feel passionate about, to take action, to be a little bit disruptive, and to do something differently. Because when we're stuck in the mud, it's like usually this is like we're doing something. Like when I think of being stuck in the mud, I think of like we've hit a wall with the way we've been doing something in our life. And so the only way we're going to get unstuck is if we do something differently than what we've been trying to do. So definitely a couple of different messages coming through depending on how you look at it, but there definitely seems to be a need this week to, regardless, reflect a little bit on how you've gotten into this situation thus far. Why are you feeling stuck, or why are you having a lot of chaos in your life? And then make the necessary change in order to call in something different. Manifest a different result. So for your tarot cards, we do have the 5 of Spells, which definitely ties in with that. We also have the Ace of Challenges. So 5 of Wands, Ace of Swords. Yeah, there's a lot of drama here, guys. I'm not going to lie. And that's going to be on a gradient because this is a general reading, right? So for some of you, there could be just a lot of, competitive energy with people in your life, chaotic energy with people in your life, fighting, arguing, things like that. Or for, in general, it could just be like difficult, challenging circumstances that are feeling disruptive for you to your everyday life. So I definitely feel that. Let's look at this card. There's definitely a lot happening. But I keep being drawn to this little guy back here. Let's look at this guy. Excuse my nails, like messed up. But it's like we have this one little frog back here that's kind of just like leaning back and observing the chaos. And I kind of feel like this is what you guys are being guided to do with this stuck in the mud card. Like separating yourself out from whatever the activity is that's happening in your life and just leaning back and observing it, because through observation comes clarity and understanding, right? When we're kind of wrapped up in the chaotic energy ourselves, it can be really hard to see clearly what's going on and understand clearly what's going on. So I think with this Ace of Challenges coming through, this is the Ace of Swords, you know, there's an energy here of an aha moment on the horizon, being able to see this situation from a much clearer and higher perspective, clear thinking, as well as clear speaking. So there could also be a need here for some of you to have a clear conversation, especially if this conflict is involving other people in your life. You know, the Ace of Swords is about like cutting to the heart of the matter. No BS, no fluff, just like, here's what it is, you know, or asking, what is it, you know? So clarity is going to be very important this week through conversation, but also through thoughts. We do have divine timing. Everything has a higher purpose. So I think that, again, through taking pause this week, there's sort of like this spiritual lesson for you guys of like, even though this might feel really crappy, what you're going through are very like annoying and disruptive, whatever, there is a reason for it. You know, a lot of times with the challenging cards, like the Five of Wands, you know, this energy of change can be really challenging, right? But the challenging cards like this are what help us to change for the better. They help us to stretch and grow ourselves. And I feel like a lot of you guys are kind of stretching and growing in your communication this week. But, you know, I say all this to say that the purpose of the challenging energy is to help stretch and grow you in a way. We also have self-awareness, tapping into your higher self, questioning routines and patterns. Yes. So there's like something here, like I was saying, about your environment, the way that you guys are doing things, whether you're coming into this reading, you're feeling stuck or trapped, or whether you're coming into this reading and feeling like, all this drama in my life, where did it come from? Or even a little bit of both. This is a week where you're learning how you're contributing to it. You know, what are the things that you're doing to contribute to the dynamics that are at play within this situation? And then again, being able to sort of distance yourself from it and observe and say, why am I doing this? What's the root cause of this? And how can I change my patterns and routines in order to cultivate a different result for myself? So definitely interesting, guys. Let's go ahead and we're going to take a look at love next. So we do have the energy of healing coming through. I'm going to pull another tarot card just to get some clarity here, but definitely looks like we are sort of closing up an old wound, tying up an old wound, which is always promising to see, you know, closing out a chapter. Let's see. Repairing. Keeper of Challenges. This is the King of Swords. So yeah, so it's sort of like you guys might be sort of getting over something in your love life, or, you know, the King of Swords is very emotionally detached, right? So I think there's an energy of emotional detachment from love or a situation in your love life. This could be about your love life for some of you. And again, you have these energies of needing to look at the situation more clearly, right? Yeah, so I feel a lot of self-reflection, a lot of wisdom actually coming through from this card as well. So I think for a lot of you, when it pertains to love and relationships this week, there's a need here to look at them. I think you guys are looking at these situations from a very wise perspective. A very clear-headed and logical perspective is helping you to close up these old wounds that you may be healing from. Next, looking at career, we have the Knight of Swords. This is talking about pursuit of a goal, drive and ambition, and failure is not an option. I will say you guys have a lot of swords energy coming through, so a lot of air energy. So I definitely feel that this week a major theme for you guys is for sure going to be logic, intellect, the way you're thinking about things, and then also the way you're communicating about things. There's a lot of, maybe some of you guys are air signs, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, so that could be people you're dealing with, but air is very prominent this week. So there's certainly a need this week to sort of think about things differently in your life. But yeah, I see you guys being very ambitious with your work this week. You guys may be going after a specific goal or looking to achieve something in your career. Again, this is also about like the way that you are communicating with others in your career. Let's see. Let's get another card. Two of Visions. So there's partnership that's important here. Maybe some of you guys are working with a person, like a business partner, going after something in unison with another. But, you know, the Two of Cups is also talking about getting on the same page with others and being able to collaborate and work well in harmony with others. So there is this ambitious energy. For some of you guys, this chaotic energy could have to do with your work, because the Knight of Swords, while they're very ambitious, they're not always the best with their words. Okay, they're not always the most compassionate. They're very fast-paced. They can be very blunt, or sort of someone that kind of talks really fast. You know what I mean? And so sometimes with that type of energy, you can kind of not always think as deeply about situations, or you know, when we're very ambitious in a pursuit of our goals, sometimes we lose sight of the important partnerships around us that we need in our work life. So I think just be mindful of the way that you guys are coming across to others this week. I think that's going to be really important, because you want to have relationships and support in your corner. So we're going to close this out by pulling a few of these Lenormand cards. So I've noticed a couple of my friends on YouTube that are readers have also been using these, and I've had this deck forever, and I felt inspired by them to start learning it. So we're going to just get a couple more cards, and then we will see what else you guys need to know. So, woo! Okay. So the bouquet flew out face up, so we're going to take that one. Let's get a couple more for the next 7 days for group 3. We have they. And then we have the ship. So let's see. I'm still learning, so I'm looking at my cheat sheet. Sorry. So the bouquet talks about happiness, calmness, or receiving a gift. This is just talking about like a specific person in your life. And the ship, travel, distance, and adventure. So starting off with this bouquet, you know, I do feel ultimately, you know, a lot of this chaos and conflict that you guys are going through this week, you guys, I think, are just ultimately wanting to be happy. You are wanting things to feel relaxed and calm in your life. I don't think most people like chaos or challenge. You know I don't. We would prefer probably to have peace. So I do think that this is a sign that peace is coming. I also kind of wonder, though, if like there's a person here, because remember, you have people showing up. I wonder if there's like a person of significance that is helping you this week to bring in this calm energy, or someone that might be like gifting you with something that makes you feel really happy throughout all this chaotic energy that you guys may be experiencing this week. I also, though, think, again, this can just be talking about like building those peaceful relationships with others, like we said. And the ship, talking about travel. So there could be travel for some of you all this week. Maybe that's what the conflict is about, is something with travel. But I also think that like, I like how the ship also talks about adventure, because to me, we want to always look at changes as an adventure, even though they can be really scary and frustrating and disruptive to our lives. I found personally that the best way to move through changes is to try to flip the mindset a little bit and look at this as like a new journey that I'm embarking on. It's an adventure, right? And that kind of brings in more of a curious nature to the situation versus fearful or frustrated. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm seeing for you, group 3. I'm curious to know like how it resonates with you and what's been going on in your life up to this point. So please drop me a comment down below and let me know. If you guys are not already, please do subscribe to the channel and hit the bell. This way you are aware of when I'm uploading new videos, and I do look forward to catching you in a new video very soon. Bye!